Thinking of making the most of life and investment in Portugal? Portugal Pathways help you to simplify every step, from golden visas and relocation to citizenship, tax structuring, and life before and after NHR tax status. Portugal Pathways are proud to sponsor this podcast. Welcome to the Portugal Diaries podcast. I'm Jen.
And I'm Claire.
Today's guest is Doctor Ginny, a gynaecologist and hormonal health specialist who blends traditional medicine with lifestyle-based healing. Known online as @Dr. Gin, Ginny is an author, retreat leader, and advocate for women taking control of their well-being, especially during perimenopause and menopause. Based in Portugal, she's built a platform that educates, empowers, and supports women globally. We're thrilled to have you on the show. Welcome.
Welcome to the show. It's nice to have you here.
Yeah, happy to be here. Very happy to be here.
So we're going to jump in with Portugal first of all. So I know you're from Holland originally, but what inspired the move to Portugal?
Oh, that's a difficult question. I think, in my family, traveling is normal. My parents living in Spain, my sisters living in Australia. So I would like to have an adventure with my family. And then my husband came with the idea, and I immediately turned and said, yes, we are going to Portugal.
Exciting. Yeah. And you say family, so is it 2 children you have?
Yeah. 2 children.
What ages?
17 and 13. My son is 17 and my daughter 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And how did they find it here?
Easily.
Yeah.
They liked it from the beginning. We are very lucky.
Yeah.
They adapt very easily. And they're now at the international school. Yeah, having friends and loving the life here. So
excellent.
Yeah, we're happy.
And where are you based in Portugal?
In Silves.
Okay. Yeah. A beautiful castle there.
Yeah, and I love the village there. It's how do you call it in English? Without pretension.
Yes. Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah. Real
for
Portugal.
Sure. And it's close enough to so many places that you can literally go everywhere, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How did you decide on Silves? What sort of prompted the move there? Did you look at other areas? Or?
Yeah, I think we first looked a little bit to schools for the children.
Of course, yeah.
And and then we looked around for houses, and there were a few nice houses, and now we're really we live very beautiful in the nature. We have a big dog, Swiss Mountain.
Wow.
So we live really in the mountains, and we love it very much.
So you get the best of both worlds. How long have you been here now?
Almost 3 years.
Okay. So it's a fairly recent move then, really.
Yeah, well, in the beginning, the first thing I said when my husband said, let's go, I said, I'm not going to quit working. So in the beginning, I went up and down to Holland.
Okay.
Because I was there in the international hospital. I was operating a lot, and I didn't want to quit. But now finally, a few months ago, I decided to be here the whole time. Yeah.
So mostly working with Dutch clients or British, Portuguese, a mix of everyone? Or?
Till now, most of it Dutch clients, but I decided, I told you, I decided a few days ago I'm going to change, and also, there are a lot of international clients who wants to come to my retreats, who want to have advice, and I'm going to how do you say it? Make it more broadly.
Branch out a bit.
And so, talking of your retreats, because you are big into your retreats, in fact, you've just finished one, haven't you, last week?
Yeah.
And so, talk us through a retreat. How does that come about? What's on the retreat? How many people do you host?
8 till 10 people, so it's a small group.
Yeah.
And I have different forms of retreats. I have, for example, one retreat in Moods. That's, I don't know if you know it there. It's a fantastic retreat, spa resort. And then you are living in tents in the middle of the mountains. Wow. With a big spa. And what we're doing there is I explain a lot about hormones. So the women who are coming there are curious women, and they have a lot of complaints, and they want to understand it. Mm-hmm. So I give lectures, but of course there's also massage there. There's also the nutrition is very important to be hormone-proof nutrition. And I'm also telling the women what's important to start with in the day. How can you influence your own hormone balance? We give them how do you call it? The glucose.
The glucose patch.
Yeah. The glucose patch.
So it's a monitor that checks their glucose levels throughout the day. Is that right?
Yeah.
While
True.
they're on the retreat, they wear them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then when they're at home now, this week they also wear them,
Okay.
and then they can see how their spikes are going and how they react on the food, but also on stress or on exercise. So it learns them a lot.
Yeah.
And I just told you, there's always happening something magical in that week, also with
Really?
me, but with the whole group, and that gives me so much fulfillment.
Fulfillment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's a week long or 5 days or?
It's 5 days.
Yeah.
And I also got a fantastic yoga teacher. I also, now this retreat, they could do a hormonal check, but also check their hair, for example, to know if you need vitamins, yes or no. And they're really, there's happening a lot during that week.
So what's your goal for anyone signing up to a retreat and spending 5 days with you? How do you want them to feel when they leave, or what's the desired outcome?
Yeah, I want they feel more rest in their body. Yeah. They feel how they can control their hormones, and that's, for most of women, it's new because they didn't know they had influence on their hormones. Your hormones are now in a special way. And when we get up, for example, or when we hug each other, there's changing a lot. And women don't realize that. But when they realize it, they can use their tools to feel differently. So they can control their weight better. They are not so irritable. They can sleep better. It's a lot of changes. So
a lot of us go through life saying, "Oh well, I'm blaming it for something. Oh, I'm a bit grumpy today because it's this stage in my cycle or whatever." But it's rather than just being a victim to whatever stage you're at in that process, then to take control of it would be quite liberating, I guess. Yeah,
I think it's really important as well, because I listen to so many podcasts on all this sort of subject, because obviously it's very pertinent to my age now, because I'm going through all of this. And I just think, learning that there's so many, like estrogen, for example, there's estrogen receptors in so many organs in your body. And I just think I don't think we've had the knowledge of this until very recently. Yeah. And I know that a few years ago, when I didn't really have any signs of perimenopause or anything like that, and people were just talking about this perimenopause all the time and this and the other, and I thought to myself, oh God, like I'm sick of hearing this, just, and if anything, it made me think, I don't want to talk about that because it makes me feel like I'm old if I'm suddenly talking about this, which is terrible really, but I'll be honest, that's how I felt. And then all of a sudden for me, in September, I turned 50, and it was as if somebody just turned on a dial and sent me everything. I was getting hot 1,000,000 times a day. I suddenly had panic attacks. My body felt like it was 1,000,000 years old. I do a lot of sport and exercise. I do a lot of strength training, play a lot of paddle. There's the word in there. But I felt like I was 1,000,000 years old. I'd sit down for dinner with friends and I'd get up to go to the toilet and it'd be embarrassing. I'd have to hide the fact that I was a bit like, oh gosh, my whole, and so I obviously had my bloods, done, and turns out I had nothing. And so I replaced stuff. I worked with a functional medicine doctor, and the difference is insane. I feel like I'm 35 again. I feel like Claire again. And it's the first time, I'll be honest, so it's only recent for me, where I've thought, oh my goodness, hormones are everything in your body. Yeah. Like everything.
Yeah, true. Absolutely true. And Claire, 150 years ago, 47, 48 was our age, and then it was over. Yeah. Only 150 years ago. God, that's crazy. And now it's 83. So, and it's a very strange idea that the estrogen, what's a fantastic feminine hormone. Yeah. When I tell everything what estrogen does, well, you treasure it, that you have it, your estrogen. And they're taking it away. They're just putting it out, exactly as you say, without, just putting
any
it
warning.
out.
Yeah. And it's really hard because your body and you're used to this body, and especially if, I'm really clean with what I eat, and I don't really drink hardly any alcohol, if any. And so I just thought, well, I'll be absolutely fine, and so it was a real shock. So I really started taking notice of hormones. So I think the fact that you're doing these retreats and showing these women to have the tools to be able to manage their and understand when they're feeling this way at certain times. I just find it really fascinating. I've kind of jumped on board with it.
Yeah. You
Finally.
Yeah.
So what would you say are some of the benefits? I guess this question's for both of you then. So to really sort of take control of the situation and manage it well and understand your body, how would you say you feel out the other side of it when someone's really kind of invested the time and the effort to fix this or to correct it?
How she feels afterwards.
Yeah.
What I hear a lot of times is, what I was saying, they're feeling more rest. They understand their body. They accept some things also better. For example, the fat, the distribution of fat, it's going to change.
Yeah.
You cannot change it. You have the really feminine fat with the waist, but that's going to change.
And where would it be?
Your waist is
Educate
going
me. Where's it going? Damn it. Sign me up. I need
And
to know.
is there any way around this?
Your waist is going to disappear. Very strange. So women are looking at themselves in the mirror and say, my waist is disappearing.
God.
Yeah.
At least I'm prepared.
Yeah, it is
Good to know
hard.
this stuff though, isn't it? And even just to understand the changes as they start to happen. What age would you say that for most women these changes start? Because I know we've talked a bit about menopause, but for perimenopause.
Yeah, the thing is, Jen, I'm sorry to say, from up to 35 years old, the ovaries are getting older and it goes very quickly. And of course, when you're like 50, 51, the estrogen is going to cut off. But before, the whole balance, before first the progesterone is going down and then the estrogen is going down. When progesterone goes down, progesterone is your Zen hormone. With progesterone, you sleep good. With progesterone, it filters a little bit all the,
noise.
all the noise and everything what's coming into your brain. So a lot of women between 40 and 50 feel that there is changing a lot in their hormones. They feel it, but they can't put their finger on it, what's happening. They're going to sleep less, they're going to wake up by night, are more tired, are more, how do you call it, acting like a witch. They say.
I have to say, I didn't have the anger. I never felt the kind of, everybody's getting on my nerves. I never went down that route. But there was just sometimes where I just thought, I just feel like my brain's not mine right now. But it wasn't necessarily foggy. I know everybody refers to this fog or this anger. I just didn't feel like me at all. But I have to say, the moment I replaced what I was missing, I was just me again. And it was just, that's me for the rest of my life. It's so important. And I think a lot of people, for example, I talked to my mum about this and my mum, she said, well, I never went, because in England, it's referred to as HRT, everybody goes into the doctor prescribes HRT. And I think there was a big article years ago that said, you take HRT, you get breast cancer. And so there was a big scare. And I think my mum was part of that. It's terrible. I don't need anything like that. And, I'll be honest, she's not very receptive when I say, I've replaced my hormones now, Mum, and whatever. Well, anyway, I just didn't. I got my bones tested for their density, and they were fine. So I thought, but I bet you struggled. Like, for me, I just think now I think a friend said to me, well, in fact, she did say to me, why are you white knuckling it? And I just thought, you have a point. Why am I trying to battle this to try and be clean and not put anything in when actually it's hard? So I think what you do in this teaching, all of this understanding is miraculous, because I think everybody needs it, because we're not taught this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think the most important, Claire, in the menopausal, when you are menopausal or perimenopausal, is to listen to the signs of your body. And of course, hormone replacement can take away a lot of complaints. But the most important thing, what you are saying you are doing, is lifestyle. Because that's for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
When you check, and you say you eat healthy, but there are a lot of women who don't. Exercising, a lot of women say, I'm walking the dog. And not only walking the dog, you have to do, like you say, padel, you have to do strength, you have to do cardio. There's a lot more. But what do you think about stress management? Everybody wants to run and run and run, and then their body says, no, you cannot run anymore. They take hormone replacement and they can run again. No. So first you have to look at lifestyle. And of course you have to know that there is hormone replacement to support you, but lifestyle is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Is there any one particular sport that you think this is very good for your body at this stage in life, or any particular foods that you think are, things that you must include in your diet beyond the age of 35?
Jen's going to cry in a minute. She thought I was the old one.
The fast twitches of your muscles, you lose it when you don't use it.
Okay.
So it's very important to do strength, and you don't have to do it for hours and hours.
Okay.
Only when I do the 7 minutes workout. I don't know if you know it. 7 minutes workout. You do like a HIIT training. I do it every morning. It gets all the muscle groups. It's only 7 minutes.
Yeah, you can find.
So it's not at the gym all the time, but you have to do it. Otherwise, you lose your muscles, and it's very important for longevity to have good. Good
I think
muscles.
for longevity, it's you have to look after that body, and it means keeping it moving, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. So the strength, and with food, what's important are your fats and your proteins. And what I see a lot by women is there is a lot of, how do you say, you can win a lot with the first food what you're taking. So don't take carbs as your first meal. And you can also, a lot of women also change a little bit their meal from 7 o'clock, their breakfast from 7 o'clock till 8, 9, 10 or 11.
Pushing it back.
Yeah, the intermittent fasting, it also can give you a lot of energy. But it's important that your first meal is fat and protein. So a scrambled egg with a lot of vegetables in it, or yogurt, full yogurt with nuts in it. Things like that. That's important. So don't start with a muffin. I did it in Spain. Spain, I lived there, and it was fantastic. The living, but started with a muffin and a cappuccino, but then of course your
Massive
sugars,
spike.
and then you have the whole day. You want to snack, and you,
I think that's it. There's a lady on who I listen to her podcast called the Glucose Goddess. Do you listen to her? She's very good, and she always talks about. I think it's a relatively new thing, us having like sweet stuff or carb heavy breakfast, because she even says, which I wouldn't do because I do love my breakfast, but she says, you can even have leftovers from your dinner the night before, but I don't want to be having my dinner for breakfast. I think I do want a little bit of a treat, but I do the whole Greek yogurt, but I add protein powder, and then I make my own granola by just doing nuts and some dates, and I add it in with bee pollen and all this, chia seeds. I'm a bit crazy for this stuff. Jen's like that. Oh my God.
But also, for example, when you want the pasta, when you first eat, she tells that also, when you first eat the salad with the vinegar, it's a big difference.
The order.
And when you know that, just you change it a little bit.
So have the salad with vinegar first, and then have your carbs, so your body's more able to.
Yeah. And she also is telling about vinegar to start with.
Yes.
I have to tell you, I'm always starting with Yixi, pro, postbiotics, and that's with vitamin C. I have it in my car. I shall show you.
Yeah, show
that's
us
fantastic.
So in the morning, that's what you start
in
your
the
day
morning.
with. Okay.
Yeah, it's really important. I think I just love the idea that we're all really understanding our bodies now. So when I hear of, people like you who are doing all of this, I just think it's brilliant. Did you obviously you're a trained gynecologist, so you started off more mainstream hospital or private clinic? How did you start?
Yeah, I started mainstream. So what I love to do is to do the operations to the women, like taking womps away, myomas, fibroids, cysts, things like that. Why did I like it so much? Because in one day you can change the life of a woman. In one day. But I noticed, working in a hospital, I noticed there was something missing. I felt in my study, didn't know a lot about nutrition. They're not telling a lot about nutrition. So I started a new study, orthomolecular. I don't know how to call it in it's a holistic study.
Okay.
And it's now 3 years study. I did it in 2 years then, and that changed my life. I thought, now I can really advise women broadly.
Yeah.
I'm not only about operation, not only medicine, but I can also advise food, I can advise exercise, I can explain it.
Yeah.
And women love the combination.
Yeah.
They want that combination. And in Holland, it's separated. The
Yeah.
holistics, the therapists, the hormone therapists are separated from the doctors.
I think it is everywhere. Right? I always refer to it's functional medicine, really, isn't it? And I always think it's rather than just going, okay, you have that's happened. Here's a tablet. Here's a solution for that. It's more about understanding the root cause and what contributes to it, intake, foods, lifestyle, and everything. And so I just find it so much better, and it makes me wonder how it's still not. Like such a broad, like you say, it's still separated. It should be combined with like every medical doctor, GP, surgeon.
It would save health providers a fortune. If people were just making those small changes,
Yes,
then
but-
suffer the symptoms less, then they wouldn't have the same expense for medicines and all of these
But
things
that's
that
the
people
problem.
often have to resort to if the other bits aren't in check. So I think it's it would be life changing for the person, but also for governments spending billions on
Yeah, but then that's where big pharma comes into it. So
it's a
where-
whole other discussion, not one we need to get into now. But I think it's really important.
Absolutely.
It
When-
can be life changing for
Yeah.
people to just get the simple bits right in the first
Absolutely.
instance. Sometimes they may still have to resort to other things, but it's important that we're educated on all of these things.
Absolutely. When a pregnant woman came to my practice, I only had 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I did everything very quickly. I pinched blood. I saw, okay, there's iron deficiency. I gave tablets of iron. I didn't even ask what she was eating. Though.
Yeah, I think women are often left to just figure these things out for themselves, do their own research, look online, ask a friend. It's not good
And
enough,
like you
is it,
say,
really?
a pill to kind of, oh, you're feeling like that, here's a pill.
Yeah.
Rather than so how do people find you for, to come and see you for their issues or the retreats or whatever? How do you?
I have an account, a website, Doctor Gin, .nl it is, yeah. And on Instagram, Dr. Gin, so DRG, you can spell it.
GYNN.
GYNN,
Yeah.
yeah. And from now on, I'm going to see how I can change it in English. But
Okay.
the retreat in March
Yeah.
next year, I'm going to do in English, definitely.
And where is the March retreat going to be? At the same place?
It's going to be at Quinta Maravillas. That's a fantastic place in Silves. It's and they have their own room, their own bathroom. It's very luxurious, and there can only come 8 people can be there.
Okay.
But it's come.
It's a nice.
Actually, you're tempting us.
Hang on a minute, I'm still in denial here.
That was me.
No, I'll be there in 10 years, 20 years. I think there is that. It's, definitely that resistance. People want to push against that and pretend it's not happening to their bodies and then almost be in denial for it.
I think that was me. I just didn't want to even hear of it. It used to almost annoy me. I'm ashamed to say. When I'd, have friends wanting to talk about that all the time, I thought, God, I'm not that old yet. And actually, I feel like I should have embraced it. But listening to you being like that, that's exactly how I felt. So
I think
get
it's
it.
better. The last week, the youngest was 34, eh?
Really?
Nice.
So it's always, a big spread of age. But you got a lot of, when you learn things, wow, you can skip the menopause.
Yeah, of course. I think I said to you when I went back to Scotland around the time of my birthday in January, and we had a little spa trip with a few of the girls. One of them's a GP and one of them's a pharmacist. And over dinner, I felt like it was all we talked about. And later on, it just kept coming back to that. And I think everybody, they were all kind of educating each other and sharing what they knew. But it's clearly they're all same age as me and they're all talking about it. They're all feeling quite liberated by things they've tried that have helped them. And I think it's good that women are talking about these things nowadays. And you must have, people coming away from your retreats sharing things that have helped, and I guess building friendships, building connections on the back of it. So it's probably more than just helping with those initial issues. It's carrying forward with people that they've met and friendships in a new place and whatever else. So it's pretty life-changing stuff.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And you also have a book as well, although we couldn't pronounce the title.
No, I can imagine. The book is coming out in September.
Okay.
And they're going to do it in English also.
Okay.
Wow, okay, so what's the title of it?
And the title is, je kan er wel iets aan doen. The title is, because I'm always very positive, I like it to see what complaints women have and to tell you what complaints you can have. But I'm always positive and thinking, what can we do about it? So that's the title. What can you do about it? There is something to do about it.
I can tell why I couldn't pronounce this.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm afraid to say the title of your book in English because there's one of the words that may sound quite rude.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we're allowed to say it on the podcast. Maybe we are.
Okay, but it's about what can you do? Yeah.
Yes, what you can, and I tell a lot about sleep, about food, about stress management, about a lot of things. So women know. Yeah, you can just read it and then think, oh, okay, I'm going to start there, or oh, okay, I'm going to try this. That's so nice about it.
Just a couple of small changes.
Yeah.
And where will it be available?
In the, how do you call it? The bookhandels, the booklets, the bookstores.
Other bookstores and Amazon, maybe?
I don't know.
You need to get onto your publisher about that. That's
I have to. They're going to do a whole. I've never wrote a book, so I don't know how they're going to do it. But they're going to have a lot. Yeah, they're going to be a lot of attention.
And how did you find that experience of writing a book?
Easy.
Okay.
I didn't expect that. They were coming to me, the publisher, and they said, we love what you're doing. You must write a book. Well, I said, I cannot write and I don't have time. And then they said, we can help you. And so I just talked a lot. And from all the talking, we made a book.
They captured everything, all of your advice. That's really good.
Yeah, so it was... Till now, it was easy.
Yeah.
So actually, your move to Portugal has pretty much seen you go like that into what you're really interested in, and you couldn't have imagined this, I guess.
Yeah. Now that I quit it in the hospital, I can focus really on Dr. Gin, and I feel that it's going to explode.
Yeah.
I feel that there's so much.
There's
so
real
much more to be
demand
done.
around here. I mean, I don't really check into the ladies' WhatsApp group that often anymore, but when I do, there's always people asking, can anyone recommend a gynecologist? They're all looking for advice. I've seen that question come up a lot.
And there's a lady over in, I want to say
Portimao?
Portimao, but I think her waiting list is about a year and a half.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you have any availability, we could send you 1 million pages over to
details,
you.
yes.
You know, because that would be. So, do you see Portugal as your long-term base?
Don't think so.
Oh, really?
I think it's the coming years, yes, because the children are, we love it here. But I don't know. I don't look so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I look 1 year, 2 years, and then I
okay,
think we
though.
will see how life goes.
And it's good to be flexible. Nothing's set in stone, is it? So sometimes if you fancy making that change, then what's to stop you? I really do think that about kind of where you live. It's not set in stone. It's not like, you've made this move and it's for life.
Yeah, with Jan, we had the same dialogue, didn't we? He's like, I love it, but maybe at some point in the future I could do this instead.
Yeah.
And that's good. Yeah, but it's good if your kids are happy here and you're enjoying right now, then that's just so important. That's that's good.
But I have to say, Claire, the medication, I'm not writing now medication because I'm now not in a hospital.
Yeah.
So I only do the consultation online. You can always book a consultation with me online. And of course, the retreats are fantastic. But the medication, not right now.
Okay. And so for the retreats, because obviously you said the next one that you're doing, which is in English, is going to be a maximum of 8 people. Would you see yourself doing more retreats if you get more and more people demand.
Yes, yes, yes.
Tell you're
yes.
passionate about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm now, last year I did 3. Now I'm going 4, and I want to, I want to do a retreat every month.
Okay.
That's really good. And,
Yeah.
you know, if there's demand for it, which I'm sure there will be, then,
yeah.
you know, that's good. So we're being told that
I
time
know,
is
but I
coming
want to do
down.
some quick fire questions.
I know, I want to do quick fire questions. So I'm going to let you lead
I'll
with those.
jump in. Okay. I want to know one health trend you love and one that you can't stand, that you dislike.
Okay, a health trend that I love is the morning. How you start the routine, how you start the day. Because that makes a lot of difference for the whole day. I don't know how you started your day.
Well, do you know what? I'm going to take your advice on board. You don't want to know how I start my day. Because, you know, a cup of tea and, you know, running out the door, and then usually a bowl of like porridge or cereal or something at my desk by about 11 is not a good way to start my day. So, yep, I'm going to take, you know, on board exactly what you've said. What about any that you can't stand? Any health trends that you dislike or you feel are not good for people?
Oh, okay. Can you give some examples, perhaps? What?
Trying to fad diets.
What I think is difficult is when women are focused on how they look like. That's the part, because you're going to lose finally. You're going to lose.
You're fighting against it,
Yeah, that's the part. I hope everybody sees his natural beauty. I hope everybody can see the beautiness of getting older, the beautiness, of wrinkles. I'm sorry.
That is the hardest.
I hope that's what and that's what I hope to give to people also in the retreat, that they love their body again, that they love the way they look.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like 20 years ago, but you're beautiful. You're beautiful.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. And what's your do you have a personal motto or a mantra?
What's important for me is meditate. I know that's the most important for me. Why? Because all the other things are easy for me. The 7 minutes workout, running, eating healthy, that's easy for me. But for me, it's dangerous to go to go too quickly. So meditating gives me so much, and that's the first thing that I skip.
Write that down. Yeah. So
that's always like that.
I just can't even do it. You know, there's a class at the campus on a Sunday afternoon. It's a meditation class, and
it's calming your mind.
It's the one thing I know I should do, but it is, you say, it's so easy. You know, you'd much rather get a workout in or, you know, play something fun or whatever. But I think my mind doesn't settle easily. So it's something I have to really push myself to do. So hence I very rarely do it. But I wish I did it more, because you do feel the benefit. You feel so relaxed.
It also always works.
Impact on the rest of your day or your week if you're kind of get your mind to settle a little bit. So what's the mantra or the motto there then? I don't know, just to slow things down a bit, or
I think so. Or the motto would probably be the title of your book, I'd say.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? You know, I think that's kind of like a really great
you can do something about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, a final quickfire question for me is on the subject of books. One book you're currently reading, or one that you would always recommend, apart from your own, obviously, when it comes out.
A book
that you would either one that you're reading currently or that you would recommend.
Yeah, what I like very much is Sarah Gottfried and her books about hormones. She's a gynecologist in California, and she inspired me.
Love that.
And lastly from me, beach day or mountain hike?
Beach.
That was a quick fire and quick response. No, you can't beat the beach, can you? Although I do love a mountain hike.
But you know what? Do that?
Well, actually, I do that loads with the dogs. Not necessarily mountains, but hills. But I think when the weather is just anything goes, doesn't it? When the weather's just so lovely. So, we've really enjoyed having you on the show. I could talk to you for hours because I love this.
Yeah, I think we've learned loads, and I think we can definitely share a link to your book when it's been published and details of how people can get onto the retreats. And it's exciting that they're going to be in English. I think that opens up a much broader audience, doesn't it? And one that we can definitely help you with. So thank you. It's been so lovely to have you on. That's it for
So
today.
thanks for listening and watching. If you are the Portugal Diaries podcast, you can find us on our social media at the Portugal Diaries podcast. And don't forget to subscribe, rate and review if you are looking at us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. And thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, Ginny.